Hey everybody, I'm JJ. You're watching Reality Survival, and today we're going to talk a little bit about water and water storage. I think I've come up with a little more practical solution for water storage for most people. Water storage sucks. It's a hard part of being prepared, and there's lots of different ways to go about it, and I'm not saying this is necessarily the best way. I'm saying it's another way, and it's a little more practical than some of the others. Some people like to just do bottles of water. Some people like to do gallons of water. Some people like to do, 55-gallon barrels, and they're water bricks. Those, I've done videos on a lot of all these in the past. And they all have their pros and cons, right? And so this that I'm going to show you today is no different. It's got pros and cons as well. It's just, I don't know, it seems like it's probably got more pros than cons. So basically what it is it's a 15-gallon water barrel. And I got these from Walmart. My local Walmart in Cheyenne, back a couple years back. And so just the pump didn't come with it. So it's just a barrel, 15 gallons. And so, I'll have to do my calculator math here. What is 15 times roughly 8? I think it's about 8 pounds per gallon, 15 times 8. So 120 pounds, that you get in here, and this size is fairly reasonable for most people to be able to find a place to put it. This can fit a couple, like 3 or 4 of these could fit in the back of a closet. They could go in those little storage places back behind stairs. There's just a lot of places that you could put them, and they're still reasonable enough by weight that you can still move them reasonably. You know what I'm saying? 1 or 2 people can get a hold of them and move them, and it's not like a huge problem. The thing with the 55-gallon barrel drums, you got to have a lot of storage space to put them. What is that? 55 times 8, 440 pounds each once they're full. So a lot more difficult to maneuver once they're filled up. With these, you can throw them in the truck. If you're going to have to bug out, take some water with you. You can throw them in a trailer or whatever, on a little trailer behind an ATV or something. I mean, there's a lot of different options. It's still small enough to be portable, I guess, is my main point. The other thing with water bottles and gallons, the problem you run into is the packaging is not very durable. And so after time, if you've got them stacked and stuff like that, you can start to get leaks and different things, and they can be a little bit of a hassle that way. So with this is the same material, although a little thinner walled, but I mean, it's solid, as the big 55-gallon drums. So it's, food safe, water safe, and all that kind of stuff. And it's tough. It's going to last, and you're not going to have leaks and all that kind of stuff, and it's not going to be a problem because this is nice and thick, food safe plastic. So I think it's a good option. I don't know. I've used them for, like I said, it's probably been about 2 years now, and I haven't seen any issues with them. The biggest problem, the downside to it, is you got to figure out how to be able to get water out of it. And so that's where the pump comes in. So I hadn't really had an option up until this point. I hadn't gotten one. I just figured I'm just going to have to, try to pour it out or whatever. And Northern Tool had a sale on these pumps not too long ago. And so, let's see here. If I can, I'm just try to pull it up here a little more, closer to you. So this is just a like a little manual fluid transfer pump, and I think it's 10 ounces per pump. that it does. And I'll show you how this works down here. It just screws into the bung hole. And now, unless you were to sanitize this pump, you know, I would probably filter the water after, you know, it comes through the pump and everything. But you could potentially sanitize it. So this is adjustable. This right here has an adjustable depth. Okay, so it can go to different sizes, and then it just screws in. Yeah, it's tight now. Yeah, there we go. And it just screws into, you know, the bottom of the pump. So it's a pretty simple little device. There's nothing spectacularly, you know, complicated about this. But it's a good way to store up water, because if you start adding up the amount of water that you need to store to have enough for your family should the power go out, or should the water supply stop, you know, it'd be nice if you could have at least 2 weeks to, you know, a month on hand. But that's really hard to do in most people's homes, because you just don't have that much storage space for it, right? So, you know, this is a pretty good way to, you gotta be careful when you're threading these in with these plastic threads, because you don't want to get it cross-threaded. So I'm just gonna let it sit there for a second. So you gotta look for ways to be able to store water somewhat in bulk, but yet make it manageable to store. And you know, my recommendation for water storage is a lot of the prepper community says a gallon per day per person to be able to just survive, and that's about right? I mean, depending on the amount of energy, how much you're doing, how much you're working, what the temperatures are. There's lots of variances, so these are all just kind of averages. But a gallon per day is just for consumption, right? But then you need sanitation, and then you need food, and then you need, you know, cleaning your body, cleaning your clothes, dealing with waste, and all that kind of stuff. And so that starts to add up. And when you really get down to it, it's probably somewhere closer to 5 to 8 gallons a day per person that you're actually using if you're maintaining a similar style life to what you do on a day-to-day basis. And I don't really mean on a true day-to-day basis, because you're not taking a 20-minute shower and all that kind of stuff, but I'm saying where you can bathe at least a couple of times a week, where, you know, you can you know, cook with it and have enough water to be able to stay clean and healthy and all that kind of stuff. Then you're going to really need to start planning for more water storage. And so that's just, when you start doing the math on that, it starts to add up really quickly. And that's a whole lot of little water bottles and a whole lot of gallon jugs. And it even gets to be, you know, a lot of these. I mean, let's just do a little bit of math here. My math teacher when I was in school told me that I would never have a calculator all the time. Boy, they were wrong. All right, so let's just go off of 5 gallons a day. I think really 8's probably closer, but let's go with 5 gallons. Let's say you've got 4 people in your house, right? So that's 20 gallons. I don't need the calculator for that one. So 20 gallons. And we're gonna go for 30 days. So times 30, that's 600 gallons, right? And then divided by 15. So you're looking at having to have 40 of those things around your house. That's gonna be tough. Not very many people are gonna have that much storage space. So, you know, maybe you shoot for some minimums and you try to get, you know, a gallon or 2 gallons or 3 gallons or something like that, you know, for 30 days. You do what you can, right? And then you have other ways to go out and get additional water. Maybe you only have a limited amount of storage capacity in your home. Say you've only got, you know, 10 of these, you know, 150 gallons. And that would be fine. That would be completely reasonable for most people. if you have the ability to go out and get more water, bring it back, filter it, and then store it in those containers, then that's going to help you a lot, you know. The other thing that I had thought about with these is that you could take these and set them up with a 12 volt water pump. I think I'd showed you guys one of those on a video a while back. You could take them up, paint them black, put them up on your roof, and filter, run that water in through some homemade piping to be able to, and use gravity to be able to have showers. Okay, especially those people in a rural area where they live on a septic system. You could just pipe it, basically poke holes, and through in the right places, and do it in a way that it seals it up so it don't leak and all that. But run some piping down into your bathroom, and then you could just have a little shower, have a valve there in the place, and have warm water and all that kind of stuff. So there's lots of different potential uses for these kinds of things. I mean, 15 gallons is way more than you need for one shower. You could easily get 3 people in there if you were conscious about your water usage. And then you could use the 12 volt pump for filling it, and then so you didn't have to go up there every time, is what I'm saying. So you have a bigger container on the ground, and then you have another container up on the roof, and you can pump that up to the 12 volt and then use gravity to let it down. Anyway, hopefully that makes sense. The point in the video here today is just to show you this option, right? That's kind of what I do, is I show you different potential options, and you kind of figure out what works best for your situation, because I really don't know. But I thought it was worth mentioning, because water is a very important aspect of prepping. And who knows over the next 24 months to 48 months what's going to happen. Probably a big nothing burger, because people just don't really seem to be doing too much. So anyway, or maybe not, we'll see. I got the website going, AmericanPreppingAcademy.com. If you head over there, you can find all my Patreon content that I had uploaded over the past 8 months. I've since closed down the Patreon account. I'm just going to do everything for free on the website. On there, you'll also find some affiliate links. If you'd like to help support the channel, then that's great. If you guys are on Rumble, then hit the subscribe button for me. If you're on YouTube, that's cool too. But I don't know how much longer the channel is going to be up, because it's so throttled back at this point that it's almost not even worth having on YouTube. But we want to try to reach as many people as we can, and so we're gonna keep going. But head over there. If you would sign up for the email list on the website, then that would be awesome. There's a bar across the top, and then there's a pop-up. If you have the Brave browser or other browsers where you've got your pop-ups blocked and all that kind of stuff, you might not see them. So you might have to tinker with that a little bit. I've had a few people contact me and let me know that that kind of was making it difficult to see. So check that out, see if that helps. If for whatever reason you can't get signed up for it, all you got to do is shoot me an email at realitysurvival@protonmail.com, and I will manually add you to the list. And then that way you'll get updates whenever I put out new content on the website. If there's like cool deals or cool stuff that I think you guys would like to see or whatever, then I can still get in touch with you, because I've shut down pretty much all my social media platforms. I recommend that you guys do the same. I've still obviously got the YouTube account and Rumble account, but man, there's very few things left that I will even use. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Telegram, even Gab and CloutHub and MeWe, Minds, all those, they are all just a huge liability. They really are. They're not helping you out in any good way. So I recommend getting rid of them. That's just me. But anyway, enough yakking, and just think about that. If I can find a link to some of those, I'll throw that in the description. If not, I got this at Northern Tool, and I got these at Walmart. You could probably check either one of those. I know Walmart sucks and Amazon sucks and all the big companies suck, but we have to be able to, figure out where to get stuff somewhere, right? So it is what it is, and I wish that it would be a realistic option to just not use any of these companies, and that's great if you can figure out a way to do that for you. I can't figure that out. I haven't figured out how to do that. So living where I do and all that kind of stuff, I buy as much stuff as I can locally, but sometimes you still just need to get stuff. So anyway, that is that. Don't forget to live the 6 P's. Proper prior preparation prevents poor performance. Stay safe, guys.